Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayanti Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhakti Naishtikhi. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, Chapter 6, the liberation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Text 78 onwards. Bhattacharya tumi har na jana mahima bhagavata lakshanir ihate sima. My dear Bhattacharya, so this is Gopinathacharya is telling, you do not know the greatness of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All the symptoms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are found in him to the highest degree. Ihate nai sima. Since Bhattacharya was an impersonalist, he had no idea of the absolute truth beyond the impersonal effulgence or Brahm Jyoti. However, Gopinath Acharya informed him that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who know the absolute truth know it in three phases, as explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. Vadanti tattva tattva vidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagvaniti shantyate. Those who are in knowledge of the non-dual absolute truth know very clearly that what is Brahman, what is Paramatma, and what is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Shad Aishwarya Purna, complete with 6 opulences. Gopinath Acharya emphasized that all those 6 opulences were completely existing in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Completely. Now it's just one has to see it properly. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya could not see. So further he's saying, Tahate vikhyati ho param ishvara agya sthane kichu nahe vigyera gochara. Gopinath Acharya continued, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is celebrated as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who are ignorant in this connection find the conclusion of knowledgeable men very difficult to understand. Those who are ignorant, they cannot understand this. Shishyagana kahe Ishwara kaha kona pramane. Acharya kahe vigya mata Ishwara lakhane. The disciples of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya retaliated. By what evidence do you conclude that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord? Gopinath Acharya replied, the statements of authorized acharyas who understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are proof. So besides what the scripture says, so he is saying statements of authorized acharyas, not just anybody. In Kali Yuga, we'll find many people who just claim whatever they want to. But authorized acharyas. Since the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there have been many pseudo-incarnations in India who do not present authorized evidence. 500 years ago, the disciples of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, being very learned scholars, were certainly right in asking Gopinath Acharya for evidence, which is right. If a person proposes that he himself is God, or that someone else is an incarnation of God, or God himself, he must cite evidence from Shastra to prove his claim. Thus, the request of Bhattacharya's disciples is quite bona fide. Unfortunately, at the present moment, it has become fashionable to present someone as an incarnation of God without referring to the Shastras. So many gods are moving around these days. Before an intelligent person accepts someone as an incarnation of God, however, he must ask about the evidence. Where is the evidence? When the disciples of Sarvam Bhattacharya challenged Gopinathacharya, he immediately replied correctly. We must hear the statements of great personalities in order to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Krishna is established as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by statements from many authorized persons such as Brahma, Narad, Vyasadeva, Asit, and Arjuna. So this has been established in Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also established as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by evidence from the same personalities. This will be explained later. शिष्य कहे ईश्वर तत्व साधे अनुमाने आचार्य कहे अनुमाने नाहे ईश्वर ज्ञाने. The disciples of the Bhattacharya said, we derive knowledge of the absolute truth by logical hypothesis. Gopinathacharya replied, one cannot attain real knowledge of the absolute truth, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by such logical hypothesis and argument. The Mayavadi philosophers in particular make certain hypotheses about the absolute truth. They reason that in the material world we experience that everything is created. If we trace the history of anything, we find a creator. Therefore, there must be a creator of this huge cosmic manifestation. By such reasoning, they come to the conclusion that a higher power has created this cosmic manifestations. But their problem is, so till this point, they're okay. So somebody must have created, but that somebody, they don't believe it's a person. The Mayavadis do not accept this great power to be a person. Their brains cannot accommodate the fact that the huge cosmic manifestation can be created by a person. See, another thing, for us to understand creation, just like in construction industry, if we have to create a building, so somebody has to draw it up, plan it, architect, engineers, then plan it, and then builders, a mason and the labor, they have to come and erect it. So, is this how the creation takes place? Is this like who wants to joke around? They'll say, think that Vishnu ji is sitting down, or Brahma ji is sitting down with chisel and hammer and making the creation. No. There's a difference between a regular labor or a contractor and then Brahmaji or Vishnu. Just by their desire, they can create. It's hard for people to conceive of this thing. How is it possible? Well, it is possible. If this is how it's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam or other scriptures, yeah, it is possible. What's so difficult about it? So Mayavadis do not accept this great power to be a person. Their brains cannot accommodate the fact that the huge cosmic manifestation can be created by a person. They doubt this because as soon as they think of a person, they think of a person within the material world with limited potency. Sometimes the Mayavadi philosophers will accept Lord Krishna or Lord Ram as Bhagwan, but they think of the Lord as a person having a material body. The Mayavadis do not understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, has a spiritual body. So he doesn't have a material body, he has a spiritual body. And so does Vishnu, so that all the Vishnu Tattvas cannot understand. They think of Krishna as a great personality, a human being, within whom there is the supreme impersonal power, Brahman. Therefore, they finally conclude that the impersonal Brahman is a supreme, not the personality Krishna. Because they say, in impersonal Brahman, some vikar happened, some transformation, and Krishna came out. And he comes and does his pastimes and he goes back into Brahmjyoti. So this is the basis of Mayavadi philosophy. However, from the Shastras, we can understand that the Brahman effulgence consists of the bodily rays of Krishna. So this is mentioned in many places, but Brahm Samhita Prabhupada is quoting. Yasya prabha prabhavato jagadanda koti koti shvashesha vasudadi vibhuti bhinnam tad brahm nishkalam anantam ashesha bhutam govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajam. I serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govinda, the primeval Lord, the effulgence of whose transcendental body is known as the Brahm Jyoti. That Brahm Jyoti, which is unlimited, unfathomed, and all pervasive, is the cause of the creation of unlimited numbers of planets with varieties of climates and specific conditions of life. So this Brahm Jyoti is the cause of the creation of unlimited number of planets. But it's what? It's the bodily effulgence of the Lord. Mayavadi philosophers study the Vedic literature, but they do not understand in the last stage of realization the absolute truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. They do not accept the fact that there is a creator of this cosmic manifestation. But that is Anuman or hypothesis. So that is where the speculation comes in. The Mayavadi's philosopher's logic is something like seeing smoke on a hill and concluding that there is a fire. When there is a forest fire on a high hill, smoke is first of all visible. Since it is known as smoke is created when there is fire, from seeing the smoke on the hill, one can conclude that a fire is burning there. Similarly, from seeing this cosmic manifestation, the Mayavadi philosophers conclude that there must be a creator, which is fine, but who's the creator? We don't know. So for that, they do Anuman, hypothesis. The disciples of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya wanted evidence to show that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually the creator of the cosmic manifestation. Only then would they accept him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original cause of creation. Gopinath Acharya replied that one could not understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by guesswork. Not by speculation, one can understand it. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samavata. Mudo ayam na vijanati loko mamajam abhinaya. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know what I am, unborn and inexhaustible. Ajam avyayam. That is Krishna. He is unborn, but yet he is present before Arjuna and all the Kaurav and Pandav army in Bhagavad Gita. The Supreme Personality of Godhead reserves the right of not being exposed to non-devotees. That's his right. Just like even president of a country, either President Joe Biden of USA or Prime Minister Modi of India. Is it just so easy for anybody and everybody to walk in and in his office and say hello? No. So what to speak of Krishna? He's a supreme Lord. So he has a right. I don't want to meet the non-devotees who don't have faith. He can be understood only by bona fide devotees. Although he was present, Krishna was present in Battle of Mahabharata and his pastimes, but people, although they saw him, they didn't understand it. And this is what it says, Naham Prakashas, Mudo ayam na vijanati. Mudo, the fools and rascals, they do not know me. Lord Krishna says elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya Mam Avijanati. One can understand me only by the devotional process. In the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bhakto sime sakha cheti rahasyam hi etaduttamam. Here Lord Krishna informs Arjun that he is disclosing the secrets of the Bhagavad Gita to him because he is devotee. Arjun was not a sannyasi, nor was he a Vedantist or a Brahman. He was, however, a devotee of Krishna. The conclusion is that we have to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead from the devotees. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself says, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. More evidence can be cited to show that without the mercy of a devotee or the mercy of Krishna, one cannot understand what is Krishna and what is the Supreme Personality of God. This is confirmed in the next verse. So wonderful discussion going on between Gopinath Acharya and these are disciples of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Anumana pramana nahi Ishwar tattva jnane. Kripa vina Ishwarera keha nahi jane. Kripa vina, it's not possible. Gopinath Acharya continued. One can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead only by His mercy, not by guesswork or hypothesis. One cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead simply by exhibiting some mundane logic. Foolish people are enchanted by magical demonstrations, and when they see a few wonderful things done by mystic power, they accept a magician as a personality of Godhead or an incarnation. This is not the way of realization. So this magic power, mystical power, this is basically those who do dhyana yoga, they get those siddhis. 1, 2, 3, all 8, or part of all 8, whatever they get. But those are just material siddhis. Just like there are some videos on YouTube, you can see people are going to Sai Baba, not the old Sai Baba, the younger Sai Baba. And he's lifting his hand up in the air and he's giving some gold ring or something to his followers. And people say, oh, he's God. What about Krishna, who has created all the gold mines? Not just gold mines, all the iron mines and other minerals in earth. I mean, this guy is just producing some gold rings or gold chains, and many times people claim, oh, he's just a magician, he hides them somewhere and produces them, whatever he does, I don't know. He's just producing one ring or a gold chain. And people start thinking he's God. No, God is one who has created all the gold mines. Not just gold mines, plenty of other things. He is God. But people are not ready to understand all this. And Prabhupada said, accept a magician as a personality of Godhead or an incarnation. This is not the way of realization. Nor should one guess or speculate about an incarnation of God as the personality of Godhead. One has to learn from the bona fide person or from the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, as Arjun did, by the mercy of Krishna. Krishna himself also gives many hints about his potencies as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead only through the evidence presented by the Shastras and the Marjans. So this is the only way. Sadhu and Guru are the two eyes by which we can study the Shastras. No other way. Not by our own eyes or by our own intelligence, limited intelligence. In any case, one must have the mercy of the Lord in order to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotional service. So one must have the mercy of the Lord. ईश्वरेर कृपालेश है तयहारे सहित ईश्वर तत्व जानिबारे पारे. The Acharya continued, if one receives but a tiny bit of the Lord's favor by dint of devotional service, he can understand the nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only then he can understand. अथापि तदेव पदाम्बुजद्वय प्रसाद लेशानुगृहीत एव जानाति तत्त्वं भगवन् महिम्नो न चान्य एको अपि अक्षरं विचिन्त. This is from Bhagavatam. My Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate in order to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years. So speculation can never take us anywhere. The above verse is from Srimad Bhagavatam. The Brahma Samhita states, Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atman. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna is the ultimate goal of knowledge. One who is not a pure devotee and who is not engaged in the service of the Lord cannot understand. Lord Brahma therefore confirms this. Vedeshu durlabham. It is very difficult to understand the Supreme Lord simply through one's studies. Adurlabham atmam bhaktam. However, it is very easy for the devotees to capture the Lord. The Lord is known as Ajita, unconquerable. No one can conquer the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the Lord consents to be conquered by his devotees. That is his nature. As stated in Padma Puran, being pleased by devotional activities, the Lord reveals himself to his devotees. That is the way to understand him. So the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam quoted by Gopinath Acharya was originally spoken by Lord Brahma when he was defeated by Lord Krishna. Lord Brahma had stolen all the calves and cowherd boys in order to test Krishna's power. Lord Brahma admitted that his own extraordinary powers within the universe were not in the least comparable to the unlimited powers of Lord Krishna. If Lord Brahma can make a mistake in understanding Krishna, what to speak of ordinary persons who either misunderstand Krishna or falsely present a so-called incarnation of Krishna for their own sense gratification. So even Brahmaji made the mistake. He was bewildered by Krishna's Yogamaya. So what to speak of us? We are not even in any count in front of Krishna's Mahamaya. Forget about Yogamaya. So this is what Gopinath Acharya is saying, that one cannot understand him by speculation or anuman, guesswork. No. So one has to have the mercy of the Lord to understand him. And that mercy is available through dint of devotional service. Okay, I guess I can stop here. See anybody have any questions or comments? Okay, you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.